And welcome to part two. The Axis managed to break away, which should be a good opportunity for me to go back into the flag areas and try to take back what's been lost. But you know, there's always going to be a reason not to base camp on the enemy's airstrip. And sometimes you just have to say carpe diem. You just got to go in there and make life miserable for the people who spawn in and plane camp. I think the guy managed to get away through the back of that hangar there. Yeah, I can see him in between the grate. I guess the machine gun bullets don't go through. But that's weird, I thought they did. But anyways, people are going to keep spawning in there and they're just going to keep getting blown up. And we'll see how well the Axis managed to progress without the use of their airplanes. When I'm camping the airstrip, a lot of times I like to just put a few bullets into the plane so that when people go into the plane thinking that maybe they can get away, it's very easy to get a kill by just launching a tank shell at the plane, which is a bigger target, and it'll explode with them inside. As we saw with the El Alamein base camping, it's important to just keep staying on the move, because people are going to spawn in specifically for the purpose of killing you. A lot of people will. And with low spawn respawn timers, people will continually spawn in trying to kill you, and will have many opportunities to try to do that. Now fortunately I was able to take off enough damage to that Jeep so that when he crashed into me I didn't entirely get destroyed. The more energy it seems that a Jeep has, the more damage it'll take off of your tank when it hits you. There you can see the bazookas firing into range. A lot of people spawning in just for the purpose of taking their revenge against my tank. But if you keep distance and keep moving, you can really take advantage of the fact that the bazooka shots are so slow. And unless they hit you right on target, like say in the back of your tank or in the treads, they really don't take off enough damage to be that useful, considering how infrequently they're going to hit. And if you're an engineer and you can continually repair the tank, then it becomes really difficult for them. An engineer has set up an entire minefield inside the hangar there just for me. Now it's amazing, the Axis have managed to get all of the flags, and that without even the use of their airplanes. The Allies, I don't know what they're doing. So I guess at this point, yeah, I'm just going to go, if you need to do something and you want it done right, you got to do it yourself, I guess. So I'm going to head back over. I can't believe they managed to get all of the flags with their Air Force grounded like that. And it's not as if our entire team was over at their base camping. It was just me and maybe a couple of people in the distance. That pilot was definitely looking for some revenge on me, but no such luck. I just wanted to get some distance between me and the main base before I started repairing my tank again. Got to make sure I wasn't followed. I guess there was really no reason for them to follow me in a tank, because the people who would drive a tank instead of plane camping would have spawned in at those flags. Okay, fortunately this flag up here has been turned gray, so I'm going to get some assistance. This flag spawns 2 tanks, and if the Axis are smart, they're going to defend it, because it also has the only anti-aircraft batteries of any flag, besides the main bases, of course. Those grenades must have come from hostile infantry, probably hiding around in one of these buildings. Yeah, right over by a medicine cabinet in there. Just a little bit of splash damage and that'll take care of it. If they want to make things difficult for you, they can hide behind the houses or even behind the fence, which it's difficult for the tanks to get around behind there and clear it out. The Germans still maintain control of all three of those flags that are in a row to the south. When passing by here, like I said earlier, you've always got to watch out for potential engineer traps. Alright, since I'm getting some assistance over here from an infantry, I'm gonna go after this one instead of one of the other two, which I usually prefer to do. You can neutralize the flag from way back here, so you can at least stop people from spawning in. But it's really going to rely on the infantry to clear out some of these areas that are difficult for the tank to access. Okay, now this is bad news. We've got an enemy tank on the repair pad. Fortunately, I was able to get a good angle on the rear portion of the tank, which, if he's on a repair pad, still takes 2 shots to knock out instead of the usual 1. Okay, I think I got hit by a friendly plane there. And if not from that, there was a hostile tank approaching. It's not going to be easy to get over there and mine the repair pad with them covering it. Now, I wasn't quite able to get my landmine far enough. You can toss them kind of like a frisbee, but you can't actually toss them that far. Just far enough so that you don't team kill yourself when the landmine gets detonated. If you're stuck as an infantry and you don't have a tank, you may as well just defend one of the points, and this is a good one to do, because at least you can make use of the anti-aircraft batteries. And since air power, the balance of it is so important on this map, controlling these anti-aircraft batteries and making just a little bit of difference in the balance of power in the air can be extremely important.
We're taking casualties. Enemy aeroplane spotted.
We're continuing to bleed tickets. Doesn't seem like the Germans have had too much trouble repelling any advances against the string of 3 bases. But even though this friendly tank up here is... okay, I guess he's dead now. I was gonna say even with a little bit of armor he'd be useful, but I didn't see an airplane attacking him, so I'm not sure what killed him. And this tank over here wasn't far enough along. For whatever reason, there's a guy sitting in the gunner position of my tank. You can see from the blue dot that's on the tank icon at the bottom of the screen, right up there at the turret. I'd really like to get out of the tank and repair it, but I'm just not sure whether that guy is going to jump out of the turret position and drive the tank off if I get out of the tank to repair it. So often people, just not being able to predict what people are going to do in that gunner position can make it actually worse if someone's there. And the machine gun that they have isn't normally that useful, especially if you're on the move. So unless you trust the person who's in there, it's actually kind of a pain. But he's a anti-tank troop, so maybe he'll get lucky with a bazooka shot. Now we're at too much of a distance and the guy's on the repair pad, so I don't think I'm going to be able to win this one. He's just going to be continually replenishing his armor. Alright, I managed to get away there. Stay tuned for part 3.